Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. It is Monday. It's about 12:45 p.m. in the afternoon, and I am the Crypto Crow. So we're going to go over a little bit of everything here. There's some Cardano news. There's some stuff talking about Cardano hitting up to $11 a piece per ADA, which, you know, at this point, anything is absolutely possible. We're going to talk about some Bitcoin price and what's going on. I'm currently in a Bitcoin short on my Fair Desk trade account. And so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into what's popping, y'all. It is Monday, so hopefully we're going to get, this is going to be an interesting week for sure. Currently looking at my Fair Desk trade, you can see I'm in a short. It's currently up about $1,000. It's up 13.58%. You can see it down here in the nethers. I think we're probably going to bounce off of this and continue down. The consensus is generally amongst a lot of the technical analysts out there that we're likely going to see a $38,000 Bitcoin, potentially even lower. And you know who I really have been enjoying watching lately is Crypto Jeb. If you're not watching Crypto Jeb, man, I mean, this guy, he kind of came out of nowhere and just stayed true and stuck with what he's doing. And he does some really cool TA that makes a lot of sense. And he finds things in the price action and as it relates to the historical price action that, I never think to look at. And so, I watch a lot of different people just to get an idea as to their opinions and things. And, I actually enjoy Crypto Jeb. I think his radio voice and everything is kind of amusing to me for some reason, but his information is really good. So, and he was talking about there being basically a point of support somewhere around, I think he was $38,000, which was basically a major support level in the last bull market. And kind of where we were pre-halving, and it made a lot of sense. And then you've got other analysts who are basically saying, "Oh, we could see as low as $30,000 in Bitcoin," which where we're at right now. I think 38% would be just about 30% decline, or 38 grand would be just about 38%. Something to that effect. I haven't worked it out right here because that's not really what this video is about. Maybe tomorrow I'll go deeper into it. We'll see where we are in the price, but I think we're going to bounce off of this EMA or this moving average. And I definitely think we're probably going to break below 40,000 for sure. Maybe we do bounce or even wick off 38,000 before we start moving back up. But at that point, I'm going to be looking and I'm going to say, hey, do I throw a stop limit in here in case we bounce too high above the $38,000 level? Do we see the $38,000 level? What are we looking at? But I think it's very likely at some point, some way, somehow, we're probably going to at least wick below 38,000. To what extent, I don't know. And then from there, I'll either be looking for a reversal to the upside or further downside closer to 35,000. So I'll keep you updated on that. Looking at the overall cryptocurrency market, we're seeing Bitcoin currently trading at 40,695, Ethereum 22,373. Obviously, we're looking at a lower Cardano under 49 cents. It just ticked up a tad. XRP at 53 cents. I know there's a lot of stuff brewing about XRP. It's not really my bag. I hold some. I know there's a lot of stuff apparently going on behind the scenes with XRP and different governments and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if it's a bunch of hoopla for people trying to buy in or trying to push their bags, but we just have not had a lot of movement in XRP in quite some time, regardless of the FOMO. Solana trading at 87 cents, which, I'm pretty sure I said this was coming. When we got that big pump, we got the pump of Solana that just seemed to keep going and never end. And, I didn't realize at the time, because I told everybody, I'm like, this just does not look realistic. It does not look like a realistic pump of Solana. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's controlled narrative by the people with money buying paid ads. I don't know if I just didn't understand fully what that meant. But I definitely said this is probably going to crash. And when it does, it's probably going to crash pretty hard. And, it's been going down quite a bit. I mean, it's down it's almost 8.5% over the last 7 days. And listen, I'm not even saying that Solana itself is garbage. I'm not really saying that. And I mean, it has its faults, okay, for sure. But I do believe that every crypto does have its faults. But I just don't like the centralized control of this asset. And I don't like how the major power players in Solana basically can control ultimately what happens to it. If they want to pump it, they can pump it. And there is a lot of narrative around Solana during a time when a lot of these airdrops were pushing the sale of Solana up. And I'm quite confident that there is a lot of money going into paying for projects to develop themselves on Solana in order to obtain airdrops that ultimately drive up the price of Solana. If you want to talk about, securities laws and how we test laws and things like that, the very nature of how Solana operates to me it says it could be a potential security. Because I see so many things, where they say, well, if I forget what they call it, but basically when the company itself is pushing to do things or achieve things that ultimately help the price, which helps the enterprise, that could be constituted as a security. And I feel like, unless I'm mistaken, I mean, this is my opinion, but I feel like so much of that stuff comes out of the Solana camp. I could be wrong. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's fast. It seems to shut down when it wants to, and it's very much owned by, I feel like the majority of its ownership is the major whales that are pushing it. But to each their own. If you hold Solana, I hold some Solana. So, but not a lot. I don't even remember what I have. I honestly, I don't even remember. It might be a few hundred. I'm not quite sure, but it is what it is. But I really do like, I like what I'm seeing, honestly, because I feel like it's bringing things down to more where they should be. Honestly, I feel like Solana should be probably somewhere around $40 right now, but maybe it'll get there. I don't know. Avalanche currently trading at $30. Tron sitting at 10 cents. Tron was sitting at like 7 cents for what it felt like a year. So I'm glad that it's at least finally doubled where it was at a low, but wasn't it even maybe at 2 cents? I can't remember. I don't really follow Tron much at all anymore. Chainlink trading at 15 cents, which doesn't look too bad to me. Polkadot trading at 6.53. So, I mean, the market has been moving. Polygon Matic at 75 cents, down almost 11 cents or 11%, which that looks crazy to me personally. But it is what it is. But that's the market. Let's see what the overall biggest gainers and losers are. Ronin, one of the biggest gainers over the week at 32%. Sia Coin, oh my gosh. I almost did pump a bunch of money into Sia Coin because this is a producer, man. Sia Coin I don't know what it is about Sia Coin, but it just goes. And it's one of those things where you could typically buy in super, super cheap. And when the market pumps, Sia Coin pumps. And it's been kind of nobody talks about Sia Coin, but I have. Let's look at the lows to the highs. So here we are at a low, 0.002 pennies. That was just an 8.21 and 23. Okay, and now here we are. We've broken a penny and we're moving up. I'm telling you, Sia Coin is definitely it's an easy way to make some money. I mean, you could call it a meme coin, but it's not. It actually has function and utility. Up 321% over the year, folks. You know what? I might actually pick up some Sia Coin for giggles because I mean, what was the all-time high? I can't remember. All-time high here was about 10 cents. All-time here high at these peaks. The peak of 2017 was its highest. It didn't reach that peak in the last market at about 5 cents. But you can also see here, it was like right before. I mean, I definitely tell people this market looks to be more like the 2017 market than it does the 2021 market. And it looks like it's very similar here. Back in 2017, the price is about where it's at right now before it ran up to almost 10 cents. So, this could be an easy multiplier, an easy 10x multiplier for Sia Coin. Could even do better than that in this market. So, you might want to just take a look and see if Sia Coin's something that you want to play around with. I'm not giving financial advice. It's not what this is. Just sharing my humble opinion on what I think is going to move and what may not. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the news. Crypto analyst predicts Cardano price will climb 2,000% to reach $11. Popular crypto YouTuber Ben Armstrong has shared his bullish prediction for the Cardano price. While giving his prediction, Armstrong also alluded to a recent ADA price prediction that crypto analyst Ali Martinez made. In a video posted on his YouTube channel, Ben basically created a bull case prediction for ADA at $11. However, the crypto YouTuber didn't share any analysis to back up his bullish sentiment. Instead, he only referred to an earlier ADA analysis that Martinez had shared as part of his prediction of ADA hitting $7. And now I've done videos where I've shown how we could get much higher than $8. I mean, it really is not going. Here's the thing, before we get even deeper into this, here's the thing. When Cardano hit its last peak of $3.14, that was basically 6 months after it was at 2 cents. And it was still before it launched smart contracts. So if the total supply was able to reach over $3 without even any smart contracts, without any of the TVL, without any of the stuff that's happening, how high do we really think Cardano could get in this bull cycle? One with a very well-established community, one with a very established, we've already debunked all of the bogus narratives of all of the competing projects. And they still try. I mean, on a regular basis, all of these institutional funds and all of these people that want to try and keep Cardano down, it's so easily debunked. I mean, these guys, it's a ghost chain. There's no transaction. It's funny. 1 minute they're trying to say that there's no transactional volume. There's no activity on Cardano, right? Calling it a ghost chain or vaporware. And then now the new narrative, the blocks are too full. It's getting too full. It's being too overutilized, which is ultimately exactly what Cardano was built and designed for. So, it doesn't matter what bonkus, wokus, nonkus narratives they're trying to throw around about Cardano. They're so easily debunked that it's really kind of laughable at this point. A part of me wishes Charles would be able to just laugh at a lot of these people at this point, because these narratives have been forming for years now. And he's doing what he needs to do by just basically being at the forefront of a lot of this and sharing his technical aptitude for what they're doing, why, how they're planning on changing different parts of the world or empowering people of different parts of the world and so forth. I feel like that's where Charles really shines. And yes, it's nice. It's nice to some degree. Excuse me. It's nice to some degree to have someone like Charles with the wit and with just the overall aptitude be able to debunk a lot of these people. But at the same time, I don't necessarily know how. I feel like to some degree it's our job to kind of defend, those of us who've been kind of studying Cardano. And I may make claims sometimes that I'm not 100% right about. And I try to send Charles messages sometimes and I say, hey, here's a video I just did. This is my opinion, what I think's going on. I'd love for you to tell me, yeah, you got it, or no, you're absolutely wrong and here's why. But I think he prefers to stay out of it. I don't know if there's a legal reason or anything, but these are my opinions. And he never tells me I'm wrong, but he never tells me I'm right either. So he doesn't really tell me much of anything. He did message me the other night at super late. He was like, hey, you up? And I didn't see it because I was sleeping. And then I messaged him since and he hasn't even seen it. So I think he's really up late at night. And that's when he decides to hit me up when I'm basically passed out. But anyway, I think these narratives are so funny. But, if we hit $3.14 at a time when we didn't even have any of the activity and ultimately Cardano was still technically just an idea in the works, there really is no telling what we can accomplish in this bull cycle, folks. There really isn't. Maybe it's $10, maybe it's 20. I have no idea. But I'll be happy with 8. I mean, honestly, all my plans, all my hopes, everything I'm trying to work around, that's all based around an $8 ADA. If we get higher than that, then all the merrier. But if we get higher than that, after the point in the market where I believe we've peaked, I'm not going to be a part of it anyway. I'm going to miss out. But I'm definitely not hesitating this market to do what I know is right, to do what I feel is going to be right at the time, because I had so many struggles in the last market cycle that I didn't even start getting out until like 6 months later or whatever it was. And I still kicked myself in the ass for it. Whether I was getting on a plane, all my stuff was boxed up. I had vertigo for like months. I couldn't even get out of bed. I mean, just everything was working against me. But it is what it is. Cardano sees massive 21 billion ADA whale transactions amid price drop. That's because, and I'm getting these messages all the time. I'm getting messages all the time from friends that are like, hey, I'm going to catch this drop. What should I do? Is it going to go lower? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it probably will. And it'll be a good opportunity to average in further if you haven't already. But Cardano, the 8th largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, has seen a massive 27 billion ADA in large transaction volume. 27 billion ADA in large transaction volume. What does that tell you? According to Into the Block, Cardano's daily large transaction volume was 27.59 billion ADA, up from the previous record of 26.9 billion. Into the Block classifies large transactions as those involving transfers of more than $100,000. Folks, do you have any idea how much money this is? Every time Cardano dips lower, the people who missed the boat, maybe we'll start seeing a transition from all of this like bad Cardano, these bad Cardano narratives, and we'll start seeing more of these people who are finally able to get in at prices even lower than I originally got in, start changing their tune, and they'll stop trying to create all this bullshit FUD about Cardano, because now they're bag holders and they got what they want at a price that was fair. The large transaction volume metric represents the total amount of crypto moved in such transactions. That said, large transaction volumes provide an estimate of the overall amount transacted by whales and institutional participants on a particular day. Since whales are large investors who own a significant amount of a cryptocurrency, the sustained interest by this category of holders may be a hint of positive things to come if the broader market stabilizes. Wouldn't that just be nice? Bitcoin's price risks $40,000 breakdown as GBTC ETF steps up Bitcoin outflows. Grayscale sends Bitcoin worth an estimated $700 million to Coinbase to start the week. Oh boy. And that's basically what's happening, folks. GBTC has selling. And you know what? Here's what's funny. I actually own some GBTC that I bought quite a while back. I bought GBTC back when I think Bitcoin was around $8,000. It might have even been $4,000. I can't remember specifically, but it was at a low, and I had found that I had some 401k money sitting around, and I thought, what am I going to do with this? And this was early on, man. This was like, God, I don't even remember. This is back, I'm pretty sure, when I was first getting into crypto. And my wife did her thing with her 401k, and I told her, I was like, I'm going to go the crypto route. You do whatever route you feels best for you, and we'll just see what happens. And, obviously the rest is history on that. But our financial planner, our financial advisor, he basically said, hey, we have an option that's kind of like buying Bitcoin, but it's called GBTC. And it's basically like Bitcoin on paper kind of thing. And I'm like, all right, I want a full Bitcoin then. And so I ultimately got a full Bitcoin, and lo and behold, this was years and years ago. I mean, I'm pretty sure this was 2017, 2018. I'm not 100% sure. I have a statement here. This is a statement. I guess it's in an IRA. Is that what this is in? I don't know. But it's showing that my current value is only $18,238. And then I had another breakdown in here. Showed me how many shares. Apparently I'm assuming this is 455 shares of GBTC at a market value of 16,839. Percent of account assets long, 92.33%. And there's a couple other little random things in here that aren't worth much of anything. But I asked him, I said, how is it that I had a whole Bitcoin at one point and it's not worth 40 grand now? I don't understand how that works out. And he hasn't explained it yet. I'm waiting on it. So, it is what it is, but I'm kind of like, this is sketch to me. And I know that apparently the fees are high and there's a lot of stuff that I don't even understand about GBTC or how it works, but I'm definitely not trying to stay in it either. I mean, if I started with a Bitcoin and somehow I have half a Bitcoin in value years later, I don't know how that gets dwindled down over the years, but it's definitely screwing me. And I'm better off just buying a Bitcoin, getting a wallet and just put in, even if it takes you an hour to learn everything and to figure it out, which it doesn't, it takes 10 minutes. But, you're better off because maybe it might have cost me 20 grand. Just basically buying this paper Bitcoin, letting it sit for years, not asking any questions. And ultimately, maybe it's being dwindled by fees. I don't really know. But to me, that's not right. But I also don't completely understand it. But yeah, people are dumping. They're dumping because of the fees. They're dumping because a lot of these other Bitcoin investment vehicles have lower fees than GBTC. And so it's selling off. What I don't understand is rather than cause this dump, unless there's some kind of deal, unless there's some kind of negotiation, some kind of talk where they're like, hey, we're going to come into the space. We're going to have lower fees. You're going to get dumped on. Maybe if you just do this instead of basically selling off over the counter, is that something that, the SEC would say is like a broker dealer or something? So since GBTC doesn't have this particular license to be able to sell from over the counter to these other funds, because it would behoove everybody, right, if they did. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that we see that's protecting the man or protecting the people, this is hurting everybody that's holding Bitcoin already. If they're having to go to exchanges and dump all of this Bitcoin, they're ultimately pushing the price down while these other groups are picking it right back up. And so, but the price is being pushed down, so everyone else is going to ultimately let that happen so that they're able to accumulate for their funds at a lower price off of the backs of basically the losses of GBTC, which they've had a pretty good reign all this time. If I had one Bitcoin, 5 years ago, that's now basically like half a Bitcoin based off of whatever's transpired over the years that I wasn't paying attention to, I'm assuming that GBTC made a lot more money than ultimately I did, even though the fiat value of what I bought at the time is probably double. It should be quadruple that over this period, but it's not. So, and I don't really know how all that works. I'm going to have my financial guy explain that to me because I'm like, I could have done this better myself. Why did I do any of this? So, it is what it is. I'm not a financial advisor though. So, I could have been wrong. I don't know. It is what it is. The whole thing's a big gambit to me. So anyway, but that's kind of the nature of things going on right now. I really just don't understand why doesn't GBTC just sell all this stuff over the counter without having to push the price down on themselves as they continue to liquidate. But I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the future. But it's very interesting to me. So I mean, that's the news for today. That's all I've got. It's Monday. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. And until next time, guys, crow your coins. Thanks for joining me.